This is clean and jerk to press. And I'm using an Olympic bar, 55-pound Olympic bar with an additional 10 pounds for a total of 65 pounds and going for sets of 10 to 12 reps. If you've never done this exercise, you can start with as little as a 5-pound dumbbell in each hand and progress your way up. Next up, we have what people typically use as back extension. I'm focusing here on using hamstrings and glutes to do the lifting motion. So you can see I'm trying to squeeze the glutes at the top of the move without letting my back go into hyperextension. And the main thing here is to use a very slow, controlled movement with a tight squeeze of the glutes and a pause at the top. This is weighted hip thrust. People also call it hip bridge. Head and shoulders are supported on a bench using a 55-pound Olympic bar with an additional 10 pounds, pushing up through the heels with a tight glute squeeze at the top. This is decline push-ups off a bench using a Bosu ball under my hands. The goal is to keep the back flat as you lower and then push back up. This is deadlift. I'm using a total of 125 pounds and aiming for sets of 8 to 10 reps. Lifting quickly with a tight squeeze of the glutes at the top. This is inverted Roman chair, also known as flutter kicks, working primarily the glutes. I'm using a 12-pound dumbbell between my feet, and the idea is to come up slow with control with a squeeze of the glutes at the top. I like this position because it prevents your back from going into hyperextension. You can also do this off a flat bench, although you'll feel a little bit more strain in your low back. This is landmine wide stance squats to shoulder press. So I'm going to assume a wide stance, keeping my knees over my toes as I come down, and I'm going to go to a press. Here using the 55-pound Olympic bar with an addition of 15 pounds and going for sets of 12 to 15. This is just a standing bicep curl with an unweighted 55-pound Olympic bar, and just throwing this in to give my legs a bit of a rest but still keep my heart rate up and keep myself moving. This is single leg deadlift using a lightweight kettlebell. So it's great for balancing. It's also a little challenging for me. My balance is not that great. So this is a challenging exercise, and of course you can progress the weight as desired. And now we're switching to the opposite side. You may find that you have more stability on one side of your body than the other. Try not to increase the weight on the side where you feel you have more stability. I'm obviously cheating here a bit because I'm letting the kettlebell touch the floor, and I shouldn't, but I really need to progress my way up. So this is a bit of a regression. This is a one-arm shoulder press using landmine station. Again, it's a 55-pound Olympic bar. I have an addition of 5 pounds on there. The idea is assume an athletic stance, so knees slightly bent, hip width apart with your stance, and keeping the core tight and engaged as you lift up. So you're trying to do anti-rotation in the core as well, and trying not to let the elbow fall behind the midline of the body, and aiming for sets of 10 to 12 reps per side. Of course, we'll be switching to the other side and repeating. These are one-leg assisted squats, also known as pistol squats. I'm using a rather tight band and going as low as I can down onto the bench and then pressing off through the heel. You're also going to feel this in your upper body because it's challenging also for the upper body. So I'm trying to mimic a lat pull down or chin up motion as I pull myself up. This is upright row. I'm using it to keep my heart rate up. It's a 55-pound Olympic bar with an additional 10 pounds. And you're trying to keep your elbows fairly perpendicular to the floor at the finish of the move. This is squats on the Bosu ball using a stability ball behind my back. A challenging exercise because of the need to keep your balance as you lower. I'm also not fully extending my legs at the top, so I'm keeping weight in my quads, keeping the resistance in my quads and not allowing a rest at the top by locking out my knees. So it may look easy, but it is quite challenging.